All right. So, welcome everybody to another episode of Achieve 10x TV, where we are interviewing people, local people that are helping our local communities. And the purpose of these interviews is to introduce you to the local people, the local business owners, or just people that are trying to during this pandemic stressful time, how our local community is helping each other out. And today, I'm super excited about introducing Kristi. Kristi is a fitness trainer and she also owns a few gyms. So, welcome, Kristi.
Hey, welcome. Thank you.
So, Kristi, why don't you give a little background about yourself?
Absolutely. So I have been in the Austin area for about 20 years. My husband came here for Dell, and we are originally from the Hill Country, Kerrville, and Fredericksburg area. And I was a first grade teacher for 16 years, pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, that age range for about 16 years. And stayed home with my kids and just needed something to do to keep me sane after we had children, and started working out at the local YMCA. And one of the room moms from one of my years when I taught first grade was the fitness coordinator there. And so she asked me if I'd be interested in teaching people who came into the gym how to like turn the treadmill on, how to, set the equipment up. So not personal training at all, just consulting them, getting them used and comfortable to how to use the equipment. And so that just kind of kept evolving. And I started working with the senior population, specifically doing senior fitness. So think silver sneakers, chair fitness, very close to chair, that kind of stuff. And I did that for several years, and I found out I was pregnant with my fourth child. And the very first day that I went back with my fourth child, I just had tears in my eyes. I was like, I am overwhelmed. I was also homeschooling my kids at the time. And I said, I can't keep doing this. I couldn't keep doing it. It became very overwhelming. And so ended up staying home with them for a little bit, and I just missed it so much. And so I went back and got certified in aqua fitness and chair yoga and just anything I could during that time, gaining knowledge. And started working closer to my house. And one of the clients in my class was a pastor, and he was like, hey, you're teaching senior fitness, but so many people in this area can't afford gym memberships. I've got a brand new basketball gym. Would you come and teach like a community outreach exercise program? And I was like, sure, absolutely. And so he hired a babysitter so that I could bring my kids with me, because I still was homeschooling 4 of them. And it started with 12 people, and the last I heard, there was something like 200 people that were attending these classes on a regular
Nice.
basis. And so it just kept growing and growing. Just like I said, my knowledge, I kept wanting to learn more. And so I was working doing for a nonprofit doing Parkinson's fitness. So once again, in a chair kind of stuff. And one of my clients said, well, have you heard about boxing for Parkinson's? And I thought she was crazy. And she said, well, if you'll go to Indianapolis, I'll pay for your certification, because I really want this for my husband. He's not going to be inclined to do chair fitness. That's just not his personality. And so I went and I cried for 3 solid days. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to bring this back to Austin, Texas. Like, this is amazing what they were doing. I mean, they were jump roping, and they were, when I say boxing, they weren't hitting each other. They were doing like on the heavy bags and on speed bag. I mean, these guys were 70, some of them as much as 80 and 90 years old, and they were
Wow.
more fit than I was. And I thought I was, pretty decently fit person at the time. And so my husband, we were driving home from Indianapolis, and I was driving at the moment. And we were in Waco on I-35. So imagine all the traffic, and
Yeah.
he said, I think we're supposed to open a gym for Parkinson's in Austin. And so I'm like in the fast lane trying to get over, because I'm crying at this point, like, oh my gosh, this is really going to happen. My husband's on board with this. And he had no idea how much I wanted to do it, and he felt the same thing. And so we came back, and I really, I just started praying, like, God, how in the world am I going to do this? First of all, this was not anywhere on my radar. I was, like I said, I was a homeschool mom. I was very happy teaching for other people. So to become a business owner was not anything on our radar.
Yeah.
So we reached out to a gym owner on Wells Branch, and the first person that we spoke to didn't work out the way, we just couldn't make it work. And so he said, I have another friend on Wells Branch, just a little bit, farther east of where he was. And he said he might have some time during the day where his gym's sitting empty. And so we approached this guy, and this guy ended up being a speech therapist, original trade. So Parkinson's disease and speech go hand in hand when it comes to therapies. And so he's like, absolutely. He said, I'm a small business owner. I could need help with the rent. You're a small business owner. Let's figure this out. And so this guy gave us a fantastic opportunity to really just grow our business before we ever, really took a huge leap as financially, So we started offering classes on a Monday. We had 3 people at our very first class. And the following Sunday, 60 Minutes did a special on boxing for Parkinson's. Leslie Stahl's husband, the reporter, had Parkinson's. And I had 76 phone calls in 72 hours.
Wow.
So the majority of them were not from Austin. They were just people I was the closest one to them. And how do I get this in my community? What do I do? And so we did grow by 24 people in 2 weeks time though. I mean, it just exploded. And so we had people driving from as far as San Marcos. We had people from Killeen, Temple coming to our Wells Branch location. And so it was working so beautifully where we were reaching out to other small business owners and saying, hey, your gym's sitting empty during the, because people want to work out in the morning and they want to work out at lunchtime and they want to work out at night. Well, my clientele, most of them are retired. So afternoon and late morning was great for them. And so we found another gym in South Austin, and we opened our second location about 4 months after we started, because we had enough clientele that were coming from Dripping Springs and Buda.
Nice.
We were able to do that. And so then our third location was in Georgetown. And then now we have our fourth location, which is at 620 in Anderson Mills. So we call it Cedar Park just because North Austin was our Wells Branch location, is what we called that one. And so we just call it Cedar Park to make it a little bit easier. But our hope and plan is on the other side of COVID-19 is that we'll be opening our 5th location in Belton. We already have a gym. We have a list of people who want classes there. So it's a matter of when the government gives us the thumbs up that, that we're safe and we can pursue it. We'll be launching classes in Belton. And so the Wells Branch gym, that gym owner ended up moving to Denver to start another business in Denver. And so it was amazing because we were in that space for about 18 months before we ever had to take over the lease. And that was our choices. We could move somewhere else, or we could take over the lease. And how many small businesses gets to practice like that, where you can really prove yourself before you have to sign something on the dotted line. And so that is our original location. It's our, we have classes there Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 classes a day. We have classes on Saturday. And then our other locations, we just use space from those gym owners. And then we just kind of use it, like I said, during the day when the gym is empty. And it's just been a perfect model because, we haven't had to sign leases, and especially in today's day and time where we are, oh my gosh, I'm so glad we only have 1 lease instead of having to be worried about that kind of stress right now by any means.
Yeah. So what is your gym a company called?
It is 413 Fitness. And so it originally started specifically for people with Parkinson's disease. And so we've expanded that through the years. We've been in operation for about 4.5 years to all movement disorders. So we have people who have had strokes. We have people with multiple symptoms, atrophy, Lewy body dementia, just different movement disorders. We have had people that have no movement disorders. So we are, we've tried doing just a senior fitness class for them, but it never really took off until now with our YouTube videos. So we're hoping on the other side of this that we'll have enough clientele to start offering just senior fitness. And so for me, senior fitness is not 65 and up. I'm 45 and I don't want to go and work out and heavy lift and hurt myself at the gym. So senior fitness for you might be 45 years old if you have issues that just don't allow you to go and exercise the way you want. And so I hate to use the word senior because I feel like a lot of personal trainers, and this is a broad statement, so it's probably completely accurate, but I think a lot of people are thinking, 6-pack abs and, biceps upon biceps, and things like that. And that's not what I'm about. I'm about movement and I'm about functional fitness. So somebody who has no experience with exercise, they might be able to walk into our senior fitness program, into our classes, and learn functional movement, balance, stability, agility, and then we get them strong and they might be able to go and do some of these other classes. We have guys who are running marathons. We actually have several triathletes. So just because you've got a diagnosis of a movement disorder doesn't mean you can't compete on a major level. We actually have a gentleman that was training for the Boston Marathon, and he was rocking it, and he's like, I'm kind of glad because now I have a few more months to do it. The problem is, now it's summer and we're kind of all stuck that he's not able to get out and run. Because that's one of the other things about movement disorders is it's just so much harder to keep going and keep moving. And so the Texas heat really can wear you down. So we're really thankful for air conditioning when that is the case. So anyways, that was my rabbit hole. Sorry.
That's all right. No, that's great. Because I think when I first met you, I told you I've never heard of any gym doing these specifically for Parkinson's, and also movement disorders. And since, my clinics, we treat a lot of neurological problems. And so neuropathy actually is a good, people that have neuropathy, they need to move, because if they don't move, they're not going to improve their blood circulation, improve function. I like the way when you use the word functional fitness, because it's in line with what we do at Achieve Integrative Health. We're all about function, restoring function. Well, can you tell just a little backstory, quick little backstory? Why 413? How did you come up with that name?
So it was my LLC because, like I said, I actually didn't become a certified personal trainer until after I opened the gym, but I had multiple fitness certifications. So we created an LLC, and it was 413, which is Philippians 413. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So that was just kind of my personal creed. And so, but as I kept doing the gym, I realized that. So for me, when I heard about Parkinson's, I thought it was a tremor. Think Michael J. Fox, think Muhammad Ali, you think tremor. And I quickly learned that is not Parkinson's disease. That is just like one tip of the iceberg of what's going on. So muscle rigidity, so agility, being able to manipulate through tight spaces. So I kind of tell my coaches, these are the 13 things that I want you guys to be focusing on. So they are agility. Like I said, being able to walk in tight, crowded spaces. People with Parkinson's, even just walking through a threshold of a door stresses some of them out. And so agility is huge, but amplitude is probably one of my biggest things, because with Parkinson's and just age in general, you see people start humping over, think about sitting at a computer desk and you just start leaning over. Yeah. So Parkinson's draws you in and stroke draws you in. So we're trying to open up the chest. We're trying to open up our voice, try to use our nice, big, loud voices. But just the shuffling of the feet, so the gait, so big, huge steps. Of course, now that you're going to ask me, I'm not going to think of what all 13 of them are, but balance and stability. Like I said, muscle rigidity. So a huge component of what we do is stretching. So, just like I said, anything that can just get those muscles moving the way they're supposed to. But confidence, I think a lot of times people think, how is that with exercise? But one of my biggest passions is comes back because my grandmother laid on the bathroom floor one night. She fell getting out of the bathtub.
Oh,
I don't know the exact time that she laid on the floor, but we found her the next morning wrapped in a towel asleep on the floor because she did not have the strength or the know-how to get herself off the floor.
yeah.
So for me, one of my biggest passions is, do they have the independence to get off the floor? That's another one. And do they have the know-how to get off the floor? And, we train, whether that's using the toilet, whether that's using your bumper, of your car, or just being able to get yourself up without using hands at all. Because there is, a statistic about, if you can't use your hands to get off the floor, your mortality rate goes down. And so there's just, like I said, the exercises that we do are not there to get you beach body ready by any means, to make your life, to improve the quality of life, activities for daily living. And so, and then the other thing is we encourage them. We call them cornermen. The people that are members are fighters. So we do our best to not bring up Parkinson's or, whatever it is, movement disorders. You're a fighter. Your caregiver is your cornerman. And so we want the cornermen working out with them, because then we know that they're getting stronger. They're more inclined to keep coming to the gym if they have, somebody that's keeping them accountable. But also I like to tell them, I said, one of you has the diagnosis, but you're both living with it. Yeah. So I'm trying to really just improve the quality of life. Once a month, the cornermen get together for coffee. They go out and do, we've had people go on cruises together. So it really, our tagline is, we're more than a boxing gym. And that's really what we strive for, is just the overall quality of life. That just because you've got a Parkinson's diagnosis or a movement disorder diagnosis, that's not the end. And that doesn't mean you can't have a safe place to exercise. We actually have a gentleman that's 45 years old with Parkinson's, and he says, I could go to a box gym and work out, but I'm very insecure when I start tremoring, because I am so young, that people look at me like something's wrong with me, because you think that that's an old person's disease, and so when I'm, my tremor starts kicking in because of fatigue, I know at your gym that there's other like-minded people like me, that I'm in a safe environment, and we're training for the things that people with Parkinson's and people with movement disorders have. We're not just, like I said, just doing basic fitness exercises. It's truly targeting the symptoms that we see on a regular basis with movement disorders. So.
Nice. I love that. And so recently, because of COVID-19, obviously the gyms aren't open. You and your trainers have been starting to record some videos, online training videos, so that, your clients can actually maintain the exercise at home, even without the gym. So, where can they find those videos?
Absolutely. So we've tried everything from Zoom to Facebook Live. It's that somebody told me that this has launched personal fitness into like 10 years into the future, and so this things that we thought about doing. And so we are on YouTube Live right now. We're airing right now as we speak.
Okay.
Good. We recorded a video, and so it's airing live on YouTube. And so we have a YouTube channel. And so I think one of the beauties about our program that I truly love is like I said, we've got somebody as young as 45 years old in our program. So just diagnosed last, I think, September. But we have people that have been living with Parkinson's for 26 years. And actually one of them is in his 50s. So he was diagnosed in his early 20s.
Wow.
So, and age is a number. I will absolutely say that. I have a gentleman who's 80 years old in Georgetown who can crank out more push-ups than I do. So that is not usually the first question that I ask. The first question that I ask is, do you have the independence to get off the floor? And so we break our classes down by fitness level. So if you are able to get up and down off the floor independently, or if you are in a wheelchair or a walker, I can tell you immediately what class to put you in. But if you have had knee replacement, or if you struggle and you need assistance to get you off the floor, then we have middle classes along the line. So on our YouTube channel, my body cannot do 6 classes a day on YouTube. We kind of laugh that I'm having to do all these exercises because at the gym, I'm like, do this, do this. I'm reading it on YouTube, it's actually me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, me. You know, and so we have multiple fitness levels. And that, I think, like I said, is one of the just huge significant things of why we're seeing such improvement in our clients' lives, because we're targeting them where they're at. And, you know, we've seen people come in wheelchairs. I've had canes left at the gym and I'm like, whose cane is this?
Yeah, exactly.
They came in with a cane and they left without it. And so, I mean, we had a gentleman less than a month gave up his wheelchair. And
wow.
So yeah, we've had people start driving again. So anyways, rabbit hole again. So on YouTube, we only have 2 classes a day. So we have a low to moderate workout. So they have the ability to do the exercises from a chair if they are, because we do have several clients that are in wheelchairs, or they just are not comfortable with getting up and down off the floor. So we have a workout for that. And then we have a more intense workout that happens immediately afterwards. And then within that one, I offer multiple progressions and regressions, because we feel like they know what their body can do. So if they can take it a little bit higher, or if they need to progress it back, or they need to push pause and grab some water and let the heart rate come back down, then they know that they know what their body feels like. And so they're able to do that. So, you know, hopefully on the other side of this, we're going to resume full schedule and we'll be able to offer those 6 different fitness classes a day. But, you know, right now we're only able to offer 2. And so what we do is we go live on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but then the videos stay on there. So, you know, we do have clients that are still working and they just cannot do those morning classes. So they'll watch them later in the day, or they might watch them first thing in the morning. But I did create multiple videos, like how to get off the floor, because like I said, we realized that that's not one that I really can train at the gym one-on-one, but you could take this video at home and do it over and over and over again until it becomes, I tell them it's like stop, drop, and roll. You never want to catch on fire, but when you do you know to stop, drop, and roll, and, you know, and put the fire out. And so that's kind of how we treat it, is that we never want you falling on the floor, but when you do you have to know how to get it. And then, and so that's kind of how it started, was with that video, and then a stretching video, because that's what I tell them. I said, if nothing else, I want you stretching, because muscle rigidity is just, if you're rigid, you're not going to do anything else. So if I can keep the muscles moving and the joints moving, then I'm more likely to do the other exercises that are available. So.
Nice. So when they go onto YouTube, do they just search 413 Fitness? Is that how they find it?
Yes. 413 Fitness ATX. Let me look real quick and tell you.
Okay.
This is my husband's side of the business. I write the he does all the other stuff. Yeah, so we would be 413 Fitness. And then ours is more than a boxing gym. So in case there are other 413s. But it's a, I don't know if you can see it. It's a round logo with verse 413 on it. And if they,
I'll put the logo. I'll put your link attached.
Cool. Yeah. And I can send you that. And then subscribe to it, because then you'll get notices when we do add extra videos. We had somebody, you know, really, when we started this, we really thought it was going to be just 2 weeks. You know, that I really thought that that's what everybody originally thought. And so, you know, we had to get more creative at how to keep people doing exercises, because that's really what we're known for, is boxing. And so the boxing component is the cardiovascular component, but a lot of people with Parkinson's, and just right now in the day and age that we're at, are stressed and anxiety. And so hitting stuff is fun. I mean, it is really fun. Most people don't have equipment at home to hit, and so we don't encourage you to hit one another. And we do shadow boxing, and so I'll put gloves on, and each boxing combination has a number. So a jab would be a 1, and a cross would be a 2, and hooks would be 3s and 4s. And so I'll call these numbers out, and then we're challenging the brain cognitively because they're having to recall what numbers did I say. And so that's another one of our 13 is that cognitive component of it. And so, so a lot of them, you see boxers do focus mitts, you know, like their trainer will have, well, we the gym like every single day. And so a lot of them have gone on Amazon and ordered focus mitts. And so I've done a YouTube video on how to do focus mitts. And so it really, like I said, it's causing me to have to think outside the box of how to keep people safe. Well, one, you know, because I'm not able to watch them exercise, you know, but also we're really starting to break things down and say, okay, here's how we do a squat for the 75th time, you know, because that's one of those movements that we do every single day. And so we want to do it safely and, you know, not hurt the knees or anything like that. So.
Awesome. Well, that was a lot of great content. Yeah, so Kristi, I will post, just send me all the links that you want, where you want people to go to, YouTube or your website, you know, just let that, and I'll list it in these videos. Wow, time just went by super fast. But yeah, it's very, very interesting. Is, like I said, it's the first fitness gym that I have ever heard of that focuses specifically like for, you know, people with movement disorders, and to get them to be more functional. So definitely appreciate you sharing all of your nuggets of what you do.
Well,
so
thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Any last words?
You know, my only thing would be that if it's not me that you're exercising with, find somewhere. One of our sayings is exercise is medicine.
Yes.
And, you know, and it's not, like I said, I think we have a fantastic program. It's not just me. I actually have 7 coaches that vary from a Golden Glove competitor to people with master's degree in strength and training. And so, you know, you may not like working out with me personally, but you might like working out with one of our other coaches. And so, but like I said, if it's not me, find somewhere to exercise, even if it's just walking to the mailbox or, you know, getting outside and getting some sunshine, because, you know, there are some dark days that are happening right now. You know, I don't have a movement disorder, and I'm struggling with some days wanting to get out of bed. But when you do, man, when you get out of bed and you just start moving and you start, you know, start somewhere, you'll feel so much better, you know, and open the blinds and like I said, get outside because, you know, you can do this and we can get on the other side of this together. And there's no reason why you can't start now. And the cool thing about starting on YouTube is nobody can see you. You can make fun of me all you want while you're doing the videos because nobody else can see you. So there's never been a better time. You have no excuse because you can't take your kids to baseball practice and you can't, you know. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, so thank you, Kristi Richards with 413 Fitness. You can definitely, hopefully you can feel the passion that I definitely feel. She definitely has a passion for this, and I know she could probably go on and talk on and on and on about this. So definitely appreciate you sharing this. And yeah, thanks for being on the show. And we may do a follow-up show.
Sure.
All right.
Absolutely. All right.
All right, Kristi. Thank you.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.